It's the Dino and Joe Show. My name is Dino, and mothers hide your daughters, farmers hide your livestock. That's Joe.
That's me. I don't know how to feel about the back half of that intro, but I'm all right with it. We're going to move on.
Roll with it. Just roll with it.
Just roll.
Mr. Joe, sir, how are you?
It's another beautiful day in the Chicagoland area. That's how it is.
You're in the lesser or greater Chicagoland area? You're in the greater.
Well, yeah, it's the greater Chicagoland area.
You're greater. I'm in the wide, wonderful world where nothing happens, and it's the second place in nowhere, as you've told me before, of Ohio. So there you go.
It's true.
Yes.
What's new and exciting with you?
New and exciting stuff. Let me see. Since we last spoke, nothing.
Yeah. we're two wild and crazy guys over here.
So interesting. So, this whole like thing that we're doing or trying to do, right, or have started on this journey of doing is just really for fun for us, right?
Yeah.
And it's just people have said, oh, you got to record it. You guys' conversations sound like they're hysterical. Yeah. And so that's been cool. And now my 10-year-old wants to, as most 10-year-olds, I believe, want to do now, wants to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like he wants his own channel and he wants to do games because that's what they all do. They all scream and yell at games while they play them. Right. And I can't understand it, but they just say scream and yell and play video games. And so he's just all over me about being a YouTuber now. That's his thing. That's what he wants to do. So,
hey.
And then I said, okay, well, what are you gonna put on your channel? Like, oh, I want to do games. Okay, well, everybody does games, right? And he's like, oh, I want to do Ninja School. Yeah.
Okay.
My son is a ninja, right?
I do.
Like a real honest to God ninja, right?
Yes, I remember you saying that he is taking ninja classes. So so he's gonna like live stream a ninja class or talk about how to become a ninja.
He wants to literally go out and like film part of his ninja class and put it on his YouTube channel.
I would watch that.
By the way, a YouTube channel he doesn't have, but you would think that he already has one, and he's established.
I mean, it's all the first and hardest step is visualizing what you're gonna do. We should know that. Like that's the hardest step. Making all the other stuff happen, that's
right. It's all the conceptual first. Yeah. I'm just worried he becomes more popular than we are, and then which will probably
maybe he will shout us out and we'll get a few more followers or a few more listeners.
More than the 7?
Yeah.
6, 7? We're racking up an audience.
7
at this
right
point.
Now. So I mean
it's only a matter of time before we're trending.
We're pretty famous.
Oh yeah, well, in most circles, they know who we are.
It's true.
Those that don't, they're the ones out of the loop.
It's true. Yeah. They're the ones not in the zeitgeist, as they
say. Yes. So that's what's going on with me. What's going on with you?
Nothing.
All that buildup. I thought you had something.
I wish I did. I was trying really hard to think of it's almost 50 degrees here, which is heavenly because all the snow is melting. That's nice.
Oh, I learned something today.
What did you
learn? About temperature? I learned something today.
Okay.
So I learned today. Yeah, today. Whew, long day. I learned today. I'm Canadian now, right?
Yes.
You know that I'm working with the team in Canada. I learned today how to translate Fahrenheit to Celsius easily. Like the most easy thing I've heard until I get into like really single digit numbers, and then I'm kind of SOL. But
okay,
are you ready?
Yes.
Subtract 30, divide by 2.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. How would I know that? I'm an old man. We said no to the metric system when I was a kid. They were like started to teach us, and someone, well, hold on a minute.
I was gonna say
we never had it.
Try to make that conversion, and then everybody was like, too much numbers.
Yeah. So you take the Fahrenheit temperature, and you subtract 30 and divide by 2, and that's what it is in Celsius. Which works great as long as it's 50 degrees. I can do the math. When it gets to like 1, or I'm done. I'm like, yeah, not really sure.
We're on temperature. It's a quiz show question. What is the one temperature that is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit?
Is it 0?
It is not. Well, what's freezing? Because freezing is 0 in Celsius and 32 in Fahrenheit. So I'll give you a hint. It is a very low number, like negatives.
Oh, well, you're beyond me at negatives. I don't know.
It is -40. -40 is the same in Celsius as it is in Fahrenheit. So if somebody ever says it's -40, you never have to ask Celsius or Fahrenheit. It's the same.
First of all, somebody says it's -40, I'm moving. I'm just going to tell you right now.
It felt like -40 in Chicago like 3 years ago.
Oh, well, see, I don't live in Chicago.
Be glad.
I moved.
It was awful. It was not a fun time.
No.
But yeah.
So that's what I learned. I just wanted to share. I learned that. I feel very good about that. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. And the person telling me thought it was really cool that I got a really big kick out of it. So I even wrote it down.
If you wrote it down, then it's something that's meant to be in there.
Yes.
That's good. Okay.
Well, because when you deal with people who live in another country, you're trying to find ways to like speak their language, right? So, and you try and avoid the Americanisms or the perceptions, right? Because I can't travel there. I've never been in the places where I'm working with, right? So I just deal with people over the internet all day long, and so you try and find ways to assimilate a little bit and speak their language, right? So I love the fact that I have to convert everything to Canadian dollars, and I have to talk in, because I'll say to somebody like, "Oh, it's 40 today," and they're like, "Oh, well, what would that be here?" And I'm like, "Oh
no,
cold."
Cold.
Now I know you subtract 30 and divide by 2.
So what would it be in Celsius? There 5. You go. Beautiful.
Steel trap.
And abacus. Steel trap and abacus. All in one. So I have something for you.
You do?
I do. I have a little segment I like to call Joe's Unpopular Opinion.
I just want to say that your shirt opened up and it says Unite, but for a long time it looked like it just said Unit. I was like, oh.
So Joe's Unpopular Opinion.
Yes.
I am a person who has very strong beliefs in certain things.
Okay.
And I will die on these hills. And I have been told some of these are very unpopular opinions, though I feel I am in the right. I want to get your hot take on it.
Okay.
And see what what kind of shenanigans we can get into.
Okay. All right. This should be good.
I have 2.
If I agree, is that going to be a bad thing?
Not at all.
Okay.
But I'm being honest. I picked these 2 because I feel like we will have differing opinions.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Maybe
so what you're really trying to do is just press my buttons today and just charge me up. That's what you decided. You decided, hey, I'm gonna throw out a feature and it's just gonna be to pee you off.
Yep.
All right.
Ruin your weekend.
Okay.
Number 1.
Yes.
This is something that many people enjoy. They are favorites at football games, hockey games, most popular probably at baseball games, hot dogs.
Yes.
I'm of a fervent belief that a hot dog is a sandwich.
Oh no.
See, there it is. I knew it.
No.
I called it. I have
sandwich.
So here, let's break this down. Let's think about this. A ham sandwich. Okay, sandwich is in the word. Great.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
What makes that ham sandwich ham sandwich? Name the ingredients. Go.
Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Slices of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And then mayonnaise if you want to throw that on there.
Okay. Now let's talk about a hot dog.
Condiment of some kind.
Sure. Let's talk about a hot dog.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Name the ingredients of a hot dog.
A hot dog.
Mm-hmm. So meat similar to ham. Go.
No, it's not similar to ham. Hot dogs are way different than ham. Doesn't taste the same.
So you
not
don't
made the same.
So
there might be particles of ham in a hot dog, but it is not ham.
So, but I'm saying it's meat.
Okay, well, I get it. It's meat, yes.
Right. Okay, and then the other part of a hot dog.
Meat. We hope it's meat. Right. There might be parts that aren't, but we don't really know.
But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
And the other part?
Ketchup, mustard, so condiments.
And what does it sit in?
And a bun.
Right, which is
not a slice of bread.
But it is bread, though.
Oh, it's bread, yes.
Okay.
It's a loaf of bread made to caress your hot dog.
So therefore, since the ingredients are pretty much the same, I don't see how it's not a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich.
But how?
It's not on slices of bread.
Why does it have to be slices of bread? So let me ask you this.
That is what you make a sandwich out of.
So okay, we talked about hot dog. What about a cheeseburger? Is a cheeseburger a sandwich? Because it has two slices of bread.
No, it's
That's
not a
buns.
sandwich. It is bun. It is not a sandwich.
So what differentiates a bun from a slice of bread?
It's a bun. It's made completely differently.
Well, that's not how is it made differently?
If it was meant to be a sandwich, we would call bun bread. We don't. We call it a bun.
So
I'm different.
I'm trying to understand because most people get so angry they don't talk to me and explain their logic.
Oh,
you are being much calmer than most, but you still have a little bit of passion in you about it. I'm just saying that. But here, so
okay, go back to your shirt saying unit. Come on,
unit. So because of the bread or bun, that is what is holding you up from calling a hot dog or a hamburger a sandwich.
Which I understand, but here's the thing. Okay, I equate it like I equate Mexican food.
Okay.
What is the ingredients in a nacho? It's the same ingredients in a taco. It's the same ingredients in a burrito. Right. But they are all different foods.
Yes.
Therefore, if they are all same ingredients made with the all the same stuff, then why wouldn't they all have the same names and be called the same thing? Why aren't they?
I couldn't tell you that.
So it's the same thing with a sandwich or a hot dog. A hot dog is not a sandwich.
But I feel like
even though the ingredients are the same,
you just presented something that I feel proves my point a little bit stronger. Where if it's all the same stuff but different names, they're all the same thing.
They're not all the same thing. You would never consider a taco a burrito.
True.
Lettuce, meat, cheese, bread. Right? That's essentially what it is. A taco, lettuce, meat, cheese, and a crispy bread.
Okay.
Right? It's just flour or whatever made, right? Nachos, lettuce, meat, cheese. Again, crispy. Let's face it, a taco and nachos are the same thing.
Yeah.
But we do not consider them the same food. We would not even eat them the same way. And therefore, that is why a sandwich is not the same thing as a hot dog.
All right. Okay. I have yet to be swayed, but that's not your fault. I'm just difficult.
No, that's fine. You can have your own beliefs even when they're wrong.
Everybody can be right? So here's the second one, and dare I say, this is the listeners are going to get a little.
Is this going to be? This is worse than the hot dog as a sandwich thing?
Yes. The hot dog was a sandwich was like.
That's just the lead up.
Number 2.
Yes.
I enjoy the next thing I'm going to talk about. I think it's fine. Okay. I feel people have put it in a category where it does not belong. And it just doesn't. So I'm going to just come out and say it. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Oh, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Thank you. This would have changed.
I will tell you, my wife will argue with you on that. Okay. But Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
I have a number of friends who will stab me in the throat.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Let me say that again. Here's my thing. Because a Christmas tree and a holiday party in a movie does not make a Christmas movie. It just doesn't.
Nope.
Lethal Weapon then is a Christmas movie, the first one, because it's taking place during the holiday. Riggs is in a tree lot, right?
Yes, that's true.
The movie White Christmas is not a Christmas movie. It has the word Christmas in it. But guess what?
Is there a reason why you have to say it that way?
Because it's more fun. Say it like that. See, you enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, that is good. I like that.
But it's not a Christmas movie because they're merely in Vermont, which, by the way, White Christmas, if you haven't seen it, fantastic movie. But it has nothing to do with Christmas, other than it's during the Christmas season. That's it. They're helping an old general, not, spoilers. They're helping an old general
from a movie made in 1946. But
yeah, it's a little old. But if you haven't seen it, maybe you'll want to.
I would hate to ruin the ending on this one for you.
They're helping a general get his bed and breakfast hotel thing up and running in Vermont. Like, there's nothing there. Jingle All the Way. That's a Christmas movie.
Reindeer Games.
I'll be honest, it's been so long since I've seen it, I can't recall what it's about.
You
but I'll
don't
take your.
remember reindeer games?
Don't, because I saw it like twice, and the second time I was like, yeah, that was a mistake.
I don't even
I'll
remember reindeer games. I just know it's a movie made at Christmas time, right? That's the season of the movie. And I mean, it is a Ben Affleck vehicle that you probably should watch once because he is one of the finest actors of our generation. But
You almost had the straight face.
I did too. I was trying to say it, but he's not. He's never
Follow that up with
show.
Geely.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. But no, that's my biggest argument about the whole Die Hard thing is that a movie that takes place at Christmas does not automatically make it a Christmas movie, and there's nothing Christmassy about the movie,
No.
right? Like, I'm sorry, movie. It's an action movie that was made at the holiday time where it was convenient for him to go back and see his family, which happened to be Christmas. If it was Thanksgiving, it wouldn't be considered a Thanksgiving movie. Correct. We wouldn't put it up there with Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. Right. Like that wouldn't happen, or it's Thanksgiving Charlie Brown or whatever. I don't remember, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, so that's my, and I know people get really, really worked up about it. Like they literally are like, that is a Christmas movie. You watch it at Christmas. Huh? Like, and I don't know. I've never been a big believer in that. No, I'm in the camp of that is not a Christmas movie.
Okay, good. So see, there we go. We were 50-50 split on everything. You think a sandwich or a hot dog is not a sandwich, but you do agree that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been right twice and you've been right once. For those
of us keeping score, there it
is. get out your scorecards.
It's
Ding 2, Joe 1. There you
go. So just as a fun little throw on there, because I'm from Chicago in the Chicagoland area. Ketchup does not belong on a hot dog.
What?
Ketchup does not belong on a hot dog.
Where does it belong?
In the refrigerator to put on anything else other than a hot dog.
How can you not put ketchup on a hot dog?
You can ask however many millions of people live in Chicago. It's blasphemy here. I'm not kidding. There's a place called Gene and Jude's in River Grove, Illinois, that it's literally a shack where there's no seating inside. You literally take it out to your car and either eat it in your car or on your car hood.
Okay.
It's probably the best burger or hot dog and fries I've ever eaten in my life. I'm not kidding. Otherworldly, delicious. And you literally just line up and, there's usually lines around the corner, but you go inside, you say, I want a hot dog with this, that, and the other, whatever. You make your way down, you pay the guy at the end and you leave. If you ask for ketchup, they will ask you to leave.
Well, they're all wrong.
Mm-mm.
They're all wrong.
It was a benefit for the McDonald's right next door because they charge $1 per ketchup packet for those psychopaths who put ketchup on their hot dog.
Okay, first of all, ketchup belongs on a hot dog.
Ugh.
But ketchup belongs on a lot of things. I will tell you where ketchup does not belong is on eggs. I do not understand ketchup on eggs, but people do it. But
get on board with that.
Now, coming from Iowa, we put ketchup on everything. Everything. And lots of it.
Dirty little secret of mine, I don't like ketchup at all.
Oh, there's your problem.
In
right
any
there.
Way.
See, you have a bias. You have a bias. Now, have I told you about this place in West Virginia for hot dogs? It's called Hillbilly Hot Dogs.
Okay.
And when I say it's called Hillbilly Hot Dogs, it lives up to the name.
I was gonna believe it.
So it's on this main highway that takes you down to Huntington, West Virginia, and so you have mountain, flat space, road, a little bit of flat space and water. Okay. And it kind of just comes out of nowhere, and it is literally on the side of the road. The Food Network has been there a couple of times. I think Guy Fieri's been there actually. And it looks like a junkyard on the side of the road, and it's called Hillbilly Hot Dogs. And they are gourmet hot dogs, right? So you can get all different kinds of fancy hot dogs. And they're really good. Like, it's a great place to eat, but you kind of have to like get over the ambiance to like want to eat there. But if you are ever in that area, I will take you down there and we will go to Hillbilly Hot Dogs and you will thank me later.
If I am ever in West Virginia, I'm probably going somewhere else. Like driving
what are you
through
saying?
it.
I go to West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
What's in West Virginia that you go to?
I have stores in West Virginia.
But
for my job.
Other than that, so pretend
that's the only reason why I go to West Virginia.
Okay. That's
no,
why
I have a soccer tournament with the boys down in West Virginia.
But again, these are things that make sense. Would you just go to West Virginia for a vacation?
Oh no.
That's what I mean. That's the only reason I would go there is if I was driving to Virginia or going somewhere on the East Coast that required me to drive through there.
West Virginia is a great place for people to go who really want to be outdoors. It is an
that I believe.
Outdoors mecca, right? I mean, they are always outdoors.
I just heard there was a new national park made there.
Yeah, yeah, and they make moonshine. Other than that, no, I'm. It's not for me.
Sure. And again, any listeners from West Virginia, I'm sure you're wonderful people. I'm just not a fan of the state.
Have you been there?
No.
I like the people.
I'm sure the people are plenty fine.
It's just not. It's not a place where I would go to do my outdooring adventures or whatever. It's just
yes for me. That's fair.
Right. We say it's fair. People in West Virginia hate us now, but
I mean, I doubt of the 7 listeners or subscribers, any of them are from or anywhere near West Virginia.
If you're not in West Virginia, smash that like button and subscribe. I had to do it. We've never done it, and
we haven't.
It hit me the other day when I'm like, we've never even asked anybody to like pay attention.
That's what we're gonna do now. So please do smash that like and subscribe button. It would
there was my pitch. There was my big read right there.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay.
All right.
I have something.
You got all serious. So I was like, oh.
Now it's serious time. This is very serious. I'm going to talk to you about places you can actually not visit. You will never be allowed to visit these places.
Like West Virginia ever again.
Yes, we're not welcome to West Virginia. That is for sure. That was a good segue.
That is now number 1 on the list.
I kind of want to go to West Virginia now, which is weird.
Is that weird?
But no. I mean, it's just I was just saying how I'm not a fan of the state, but I'm interested in going there now because maybe I don't know, maybe I'll fall in love with it.
Maybe we do an on the road series there.
That might be nice.
Cool. That would be fun.
I would do that.
All right, I'll have our people look into that. And by our people, I mean you and me.
Yeah.
It's a low budget production.
So place number 1, you will never be able to visit. Now, technically, well, no, visit is an accurate word. You may be able to be in this place, this first place, but you will never be able to visit there. The first place is called ADX Florence. It's the United
Why would I
States.
be there and never visit?
Oh, it's
would you be visiting by being there?
Well, you're not. Because it's a penitentiary.
This is a prison.
So this particular one is known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies.
Okay.
So it is outside of Denver in Florence. Where is it? Yeah, it's Florence, Colorado, right outside of Fremont County.
Okay.
So this has the.
I hope I'm not visiting there. That sounds like I've done something really bad.
That's what I mean. So this is a supermax prison, meaning you spend 23 hours in your cell and you get 1 hour of free time out of it every day for your.
Or what I like to call COVID at home.
Yeah. Right. So you live in a 7x12 cell. There's one window about yay big that you don't actually get to see out of. It's completely frosted over, but it lets a small amount of light in. And people who have the dubious honor of currently residing there are Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, Unabomber. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, is there.
You know who's across the hall from him?
Who's that?
Ted Kaczynski?
Mm.
Oh, I just lost his name. Keep going. I'll think of it.
And then Robert Hansen, which is in a movie I really think is underdone called Breach. He was a director or something in the United States FBI, and was giving intelligence to Russians for like 25 years and got a lot of people killed. So he was a traitor and a spy.
I think it's the serial bomber from the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Is across the hall from Ted Kaczynski, or was at one point.
There you go.
Yeah.
But that's ADX Florence. So that's the kind of place where I don't know. I don't know. But it is a very controlled prison. Like,
yeah, let's hope I'm not going there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't ever want to visit or be there for
Nope.
whatever word you want to think about.
No, I'm good. I'm good not being there.
So that one obviously was in the United States. We're gonna take a little travel over to the continent of Africa, specifically the country of Ethiopia, for our next trip
Okay.
to the Saint Mary of Sion chapel.
Okay.
You may or may not have heard of this. It is in Axum, Ethiopia, and it is known as the Chapel of the Ark of the Covenant. So it has been reported that the Ark of the Covenant, like the Ark of the Covenant from the Bible, is stored in this particular chapel. I mean, it's not. It is in no way like ornate or fancily made up. It is a very simple church-like building that's rather small. It is surrounded
Okay.
by a gate that's maybe 7 feet high. Nothing crazy.
So why can't we go there?
So you can visit it for sure, but you can never go inside of it
Because
there's only one man allowed inside, the high priest. He has the job for life until he dies, and he actually selects his successor in his dying moments. He will say the successor's name, and then that person takes up with it. Now, you're going to say, okay, it's in the middle of Africa. It's probably rather remote. There is a village of Axum right there, but those people uh, literally protect that with their lives. They have AK-47s, and there's a bell, and if that bell is ever rang by the high priest or anybody else, everyone from that village will kill you. They will come.
I sense a fantastic movie plot going on right now.
Right?
Like,
It's super interesting to me.
yeah, I'm digging like some kind of like action adventure movie being made about this.
Yeah, I don't know why
Uh,
Nicolas Cage came to mind.
why has Nicolas Cage or Indiana Jones not been to this place?
I don't know. Well, so technically, Indiana Jones has searched for the Ark of the Covenant, and he found it, but it was just
But
not in Axum.
yeah, nowhere
So,
near where this is at.
so clearly, he was mistaken, and Steven Spielberg lied to me because this is where it is. I'm sure of it. Why
Why
would they
is
make that up?
we should send Bear Grylls. He can survive anywhere.
But it's very interesting. And the other
No,
reason
that is interesting.
I want people to be interested in research these areas, because I that's what I did. I got down a real rabbit hole on the internet, just searching for places, and I found more and more stuff about them.
So your goal today was to make me angry
Yes.
and to send people down these rabbit holes they're never going to escape from
Yes.
and miss work tomorrow because they're too busy
yeah.
looking up whether or not you're lying or not.
So
And I'm
far,
going along with it because I'm like, oh, I'm totally bought in.
I'm
You
just
could
saying,
make the next one up and I'd be like, okay.
I would not do that to you.
I know.
At least not on purpose.
Oh no, you would, but
I would, but not right now. Not with
really
not
good.
with a global audience, dare I say.
Of
Okay.
7 people.
Hey, that's
Could be worldwide. We don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know who a few of those people are. They could be somebody from Malaysia or Tanzania. Not impossible.
Not impossible.
The internet and YouTube reach far and wide. Next.
Yes.
So this one I find very interesting because it is an island in the Bay of Bengal, and there are two islands. There's North and South Sentinel Island. Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island is what I'm going to focus on.
Okay.
It is pretty much one of the most dangerous places in the world, because if you ever try to approach it on boat, again, it's an island, so you have to boat in or fly in. If you try to boat in, they are very hostile people. They do not want anybody from the outside who they don't know or live with on that island. Like they have killed, I think, what is it? I took some notes. 3 people in the last 15 years who have tried to study them or do anything like that.
So phone ahead.
Yes, exactly. Phone ahead.
You should phone ahead. Hey,
And
plan on coming over. Just want to let you know.
So it's been untouched by modern life. Like
Okay.
they literally still wear loincloths. They use bow and arrows and spears to hunt and fish and everything. And they obviously another concern. And I don't know if this is their concern, but it's something that the Indian government is concerned about. Is if somebody like us went there and we had a cold, that would kill them. Like they have no immunities for diseases that we find rather commonplace, but could easily take out the entire population. There's about 50 to 200 people who live there.
So if we can't go there,
yes,
How do we know all this stuff about them?
Great question. People have, like I said, people have tried. So they do a lot of flybys in airplanes at a high altitude where they can't necessarily see it, and they take a lot of pictures and record them, and they're trying to learn more about these Sentinelese people. But the few times, like there was a huge, was it a tsunami or an earthquake? Something really ravaged that particular area of the world and that island. And the Indian government sent people in to help them, and that's where one of the 3 people were killed in the last 15 years. Like they literally shot them with arrows.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
You ever notice how good you feel when somebody goes, "That's a really good question"? Did you ever just like throw that out and somebody's like, "Oh, wow, I feel really good about it."
They're like,
"Look at that.
Let's talk a little bit more about this topic."
Right? I know something. I'm intelligent enough to ask an important question.
But I found that very interesting. North Sentinel.
Oh, that's cool.
Now we're going to jump from Africa over to the beautiful continent of Asia.
We are really traveling today.
We're moving around the world here.
My frequent flyer miles are racking up. I get that free trip to Hawaii pretty soon.
Hawaii. We're going to Turkmenistan. Who needs Hawaii?
Turkmenistan.
So in hold on, let's do this. Perfect. So it is in specifically the Darvaza region of Turkmenistan, and it is.
Oh yes, I know it well.
You know what? It's who doesn't, right?
I mean,
the Darvaza region.
I was there last week.
The Darvaza.
I mean, I can't go there. I was just there. Yes.
The Darvaza gas crater.
Oh, absolutely. I know all about this.
Do you?
Tell me, Joe.
So it is known as the gateway to hell because it has been on fire consistently.
I think I've lived in a couple of the gateways to hell, and I'm pretty sure I was not in Turkmenistan when that happened.
This one is a little bit more like the gateway to hell than most.
I think I dated the gatekeeper actually at one point. So
I think we all have.
You know her too.
Yes, we all are very familiar. But it's been on fire for 40 years consistently.
Oh, I have heard about this.
Most people have known or seen a picture of it. So
yes,
it's basically a huge crater that it's not like blowing flames up, but like it is a glowing.
That would be cool.
That would be super cool.
Yes.
That would officially.
Although make it. Those carbon emissions.
Oh yeah.
Would be. We'd have to do something about that.
Well, it's funny because not funny, but geologists were studying it and they were looking for oil in it, and they were spelunking in it. And they found out when they were trying to ignite stuff, well, there was methane actually, not oil.
Oh, look at that.
They set it afire 40 years ago, and it's been running ever since. It's about 2/3 the size of a football field.
Wow.
So it's pretty big.
That's huge.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
But it's a glowing orb of fire that is known as the gateway to hell. I think it's kind of cool. I just think it's cool.
I think it says more about you that you think the gateway to hell is kind of cool than.
Well, I mean, I think it's a cool nickname.
The actual gateway itself.
Wait, there was one other thing. Oh, Ashgabat. I just think that's an amazing name for a capital of Turkmenistan. Ashgabat.
Ashgabat.
Nothing to do with the Darvaza gas crater. It's
that's where I was when I was there last week. I was in Ashgabat.
Okay.
Yeah. Lovely place. Lovely
beautiful place.
Yeah.
Okay. We have talked about don't you're chuckling self. We've talked about prisons in the US. We've talked about where the Ark of the Covenant might be. We've talked about the Senetal. Oh my God, I can't even speak right now. The Senetalese people might shoot you with an arrow if you try to come near them. We've talked about a gas crater. Now we're going to come back to the US and talk about
where in the Ashgabat are we going?
We're going to South Carolina. Actually, it's an island off the coast of South Carolina known as Morgan Island. Morgan Island. On Morgan Island,
yes,
there are 3,500 rhesus monkeys.
Again, we counted them. If I can't go there, how do I know there are 35,000 rhesus monkeys there?
You can't go there, but there are certain people who can go there. Probably nobody listening to this call. Almost definitely nobody who's listening to this call.
They're all in West Virginia or what?
They're all in West Virginia. It's just too far away. So it's actually it's called Monkey Island as well.
We're safe, by the way, because I don't believe they have internet in West Virginia, so we're good.
They're not the Amish.
It goes slow.
Not the Amish. They have DSL dial-up still. They'll get this podcast in about 15 years.
You've offended our congregation.
So the reason they know there's 3,500 is it's a breeding colony. So it's a breeding colony of
It's where we breed the Reese's monkey.
Yep, not Reese's. Rhesus.
I like the Reese's monkeys better.
Reese's monkey, yeah, they were just
they have peanut butter on the inside. They're very delicious.
Oh, wait, hold on. Completely off topic and kind of another unpopular opinion. The candy that comes in the orange pack of 2, how do you say it?
Reese's.
Okay, thank God. Because people who say Reese's make me want to put an ice pick through my eye.
It's Reese's.
It's not Reese's. It's Reese's. Because there's a pot. Okay, thank you. Yeah. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Good with you. Yeah.
This would have ended the whole thing. I would have literally hit end right now if you said Reese's.
All of a sudden, our B flashes up. Boom. And then we come back. It's just me. Joe's gone. It's like
So the reason you can't go here is because it's Monkey Island, and they are all naturally infected with hepatitis B, which is deadly to humans. The little turn there at the end, isn't it? You're going straight down the aisle.
I did not expect that.
They all have Hep B,
and
that's deadly to us. So the key thing is, and scientists can go to this island again, who are primatologists or zoologists who are studying animals and diseases in animals. Do not get peed on, because that is the best way to get hepatitis B from these monkeys.
I think that's just a general rule of really good behavior is try not to get peed on.
Avoid it at all costs, no matter where you.
Pretty sure no matter where I went in life, my mom was like, "Hey, try not to
don't get peed
on." I think she'd have been happy if I came home and wasn't, covered in someone else's pee or my own, really.
Don't even get covered. Just I don't want a little bit on my. I don't want it anyway.
I don't know why I did covered. I don't know
why I did covered either. Yeah. That's so much.
Suddenly, I was in a whole nother world. But
so that's Morgan Island off of the coast of South Carolina. 2 more.
I didn't think. Okay, never mind.
What?
I just didn't think that the Rhesus monkey was like native to here or around here or anywhere near here. Like I think of. Africa, South America, Southeast Asia, like not like South Carolina.
So I think I know it was brought in by the CDC for like being able to just see how different things, happen to these monkeys. They don't infect them, but they just took monkeys that had whatever illness already and would put it there, and it happened to become a breeding island, obviously, because they have 3,500 now. But they just basically study how these monkeys
interesting
defend diseases.
Interesting. Okay.
Second to last one, a place called Mount Weather. Have you ever heard of it?
Mount Weather.
I don't
believe so.
So Mount Weather is in Virginia, and it is basically the government's doomsday bunker.
Oh.
So when 9/11 happened, all of Congress was moved there. To Mount Weather in Virginia. So if there were ever, God forbid, a disaster or a nuclear strike or anything like that could affect the government, that is where every member of government would go that was in, within a vicinity. So that's where the president would be. They have their own private TV and radio stations and their own private police and fire brigades. Because they will not allow anybody who is not authorized via the military or based on congressional election or anything like that in there.
So what do we think happens in there? Like, is it used throughout the year for other reasons?
I believe, hold on, let me look here, because there was something else I wanted to see. Evacuations.
I'm very proud of the research that you've done today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This one I didn't.
I've done very little for this show, but you are just all over it today.
I try to be. So it is used as a training facility
to train
on the mountain's surface area. So basically, they basically do a lot of drills in case the worst happens. How do they close it down? How do they shut it off? How do they make sure everything runs? They also do, what else?
Is
And
this
then
the
they
military, are we saying?
yes, it is a military.
You're using the mythical they, and so
I apologize.
I was wondering who the they
The
were.
they is the United States military.
Oh,
Also, between 1979 and 1981, the
yes.
National Gallery of Art developed a program to transport valuable paintings to Mount Weather via helicopter. So the success of the relocation would depend on how far in advance the warning of an attack was received. So, God forbid, if something happened, they could put all of these wonderful works of art safely under a mountain.
Okay. Yeah, I assume the government doesn't want you there.
Yes, they don't want anybody who isn't them, again, they.
They.
Or a member of Congress or the president and his cabinet.
And now that you outed them, you're not going there either.
Well, I'm pretty sure I didn't out them. Like it's pretty public information. You just type in Mount Weather and it pops up with a lot of information.
2 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. FBI.
Come with us, please.
We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Last one. We're gonna go to the great state of Pennsylvania.
I lived there for some time. I've lived in the state of Pennsylvania.
It's a beautiful place. See, there's some place I've been. I greatly enjoy it.
Where are you going around the lovely state of Pennsylvania?
So that's one thing I could not find was where it was.
With the state of Pennsylvania? Well, if you
I know the state of Pennsylvania. That I can
it
tell
is up there. It's one of the colonies.
It's by Ohio and New York and all that stuff. Like I know where the state is.
Ohio and New York. They are far, far apart, by the way. Ohio and New York.
Well, it's in between. You go from Ohio to Pennsylvania to New York. I drove it. It was a very long drive.
Yes. Yes.
So have you heard of the company Iron Mountain?
Iron Mountain, yeah.
This is where one of their biggest security areas is. So it's, again, in a mountain. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an Iron Mountain. So it is a 24/7 guarded facility with, people with, AR-15s and everything. It actually has the major companies and banks' data stored there. So like that's where a lot of the biggest banks.
Yeah,
exactly. It's one of the biggest ones out there.
And you know why
they're also. I'm trying to think of a funny joke. I'm trying to.
Store your data in a mountain. No, data servers. So there's a couple reasons. Well, obviously, because if there was a bomb or something like that, the mountain's a natural protection, but also because of the natural cooling. So there are two big pieces that people are looking at is how do you cool servers, because the more and more data that servers generate, the hotter they get, and they're using two different ways of doing it. It's really cool. They use mountains because of the natural coolness of inside of a mountain, and then also now they're putting data servers in the oceans.
That I knew. That's cool.
And using the natural water coolness. So yes,
that's
continue.
Awesome.
You're good.
I didn't know that. Well, see, that's a fun
I was trying to think of a really good joke after I said it too, because I was like, that actually sets up for something. But
it does, but I didn't know what it was.
I didn't get there. Yeah.
They have 27 million negatives of famous photos, all the way from Albert Einstein and the crazy hair to Rosa Parks.
To all of your high school yearbook picture.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want to save that?
Why would you not want that?
If I could find that, I would show you. It is not a.
Oh no, nobody's high school yearbook picture is ever pretty after 10 years of being out of high school.
None of them have been. Not a single picture. The one time I looked good to my mother in like a picture, like she was like, you know what? You look perfect for a picture today. Like your hair is fine. You like nothing's wrong. I think I was in like third grade. You look perfect. Your shirt doesn't have any wrinkles on it. Fantastic. I get out of the car, trip on the curb, and I scrape my chin.
Well, first of all, I've never been told you look perfect for a picture, so that's never happened.
Well,
so your mom's very nice to you, because my mom never said that. But
well, she's sweet, but it was just like I admit I always was like crazy hair or like wrinkled the shirt up. She was like, here, go put this nicely over here. You'll wear it tomorrow. And I just crumple it up and put it somewhere. So it was always my fault. I didn't listen to what she said to make it nice because, kids' pictures are like
the worst.
Well, the biggest thing for parents, like God forbid, if my parents didn't have pictures one year to give to every family member who probably put it on the refrigerator for a year and then threw it out, she would. Oh, Ma, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you.
My favorite thing is now So like when you were a kid and you had your school pictures taken, you saw the pictures and then decided whether or not you wanted to buy them or not.
Yes.
Not anymore.
You have to buy them?
You buy them
No.
and then you get the picture. No matter what the picture looks like, you've now paid for it.
Nope.
I'm telling you, that is the system now.
Not worth it. You know what?
You know how I know? We had picture day yesterday.
Oh, no.
Or Wednesday. Wednesday was picture day. Yeah.
That's what this is for. You just little click, good enough. Take it to Walgreens, pay the $20. Done.
Or just literally print it off your computer like most people do now, Joe. You don't have to go to Walgreens anymore.
I don't own a printer.
What?
I don't own a printer.
You don't own a printer?
I don't.
How do you print something? You go to Walgreens.
Yeah, pretty much. I
go to Kinko's.
I don't.
Can you print the data file 4552 off my memory card, please?
I don't really print anything though. It's a digital age. Everything I send is via email.
You don't have kids. You'll print when you have kids. When you have kids, you'll print pictures. You're gonna have to have those pictures to send.
I don't want to break your heart. I don't think we're having kids. We don't want them.
That's what you say now. I said that too for a long time. And now I'm old with kids.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
That's okay. You don't have to, dude. You don't know. Nothing says you have to, but it's weird how that changes over time.
I'm sure. Well,
so okay, what else is in this mountain besides
yes,
pictures?
I apologize.
We
should probably get back to the point. They also have many original recordings like those of Elvis, Sinatra, all of those different things. And Bill Gates is one of the most well-known clients that stores. It doesn't specify what, but things there.
I don't think Bill's ever going to tell us what he stores anywhere.
I doubt it. I wouldn't if I were him.
No. Very cool. What does Bill store there?
I don't know. I really do want to know that though.
It's money. He drives up. He drives up and loads some out into the trunk, and then just drives home.
It's his annual pilgrimage from Seattle all the way over to PA.
Yeah. Just that's how they survive the year, and then he just throws $100 at his kid and says, "Order pizza."
Order pizza for everybody in the place.
Probably won't be any change.
Yeah, right.
Because he lives in Seattle, where it's very expensive.
But those are the places that you
tell me for like 10 minutes you didn't just picture Bill Gates pulling up in like some like 1986 Lincoln, like the big mafia car with a gigantic trunk.
just pops it up. Hey guys, he's got like 2 huge briefcases or like a trunk full of cash. He's like, "Oop, it's a little heavier than normal, guys. Careful of your back. Here you go, Frank. That's for you. How's your mother? Fantastic. All right, well, I got a long drive back, about 22 hours. I'm gonna head out.
See you later. I'll see you next year." It's like, cruising down Route 66.
So
I don't know why he'd be there, but whatever.
I mean, you could take Route 66. It goes from Chicago to LA.
That's a long way to get to Seattle.
More than 2,000 miles all the way.
Yeah.
You can get your kicks on Route 66.
Oh, yes, you can.
You go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City. I'm sorry, I'm singing the whole song. I apologize.
Yeah. That's funny.
But no, seriously, Route 66 is something I've always wanted to do. I am. So when I was a kid, like, I don't know, 18, 20, something like that, all I wanted to do was take road trips for vacations. I had friends who wanted to go to Florida and Miami and like go to that's fine. I'll drive there. But for me, it's not so much about the destination, but it's about the trip there.
Oh, that's all I did, Joe, as a kid. We would load the five of us in a car in our Chrysler Newport, and we would drive. I've driven from Iowa out to Los Angeles, out to Oregon and Washington State, up to Olympia, and just go see family, right? And then stay with them and then drive back. And so I have been west of Iowa. I've been everywhere, and seen every ghost town. My dad is a big history buff of Western, 1800s Tombstone, right? So I've been to Tombstone, Cheyenne, Wyoming, like I've seen literally every ghost town ever written about in any Louis L'Amour book ever,
right?
West of Iowa, because that's what we did. And that's where awesome. We went. And then, we always load in the car. I didn't fly until I was a senior in high school. That was the first time I got on an airplane because my family had never flown anywhere.
Right.
They have since, but like I can't remember a time in my life my parents ever did anything but got in the car and drove. And so we drove everywhere. And so, yeah, I mean, you get to see, I've seen so much of the Western United States simply by car. So it's kind of what we do now. Like, I mean, I've been to a lot of states, but everything has been driving pretty much unless I travel for work. So,
well, I like I said, I had the bug back when I was, younger and had the freedom to do it. And we did Yellowstone, we did New Mexico, all these different places. And again, it was about the trip. Like, yes, when we went to Yellowstone, I think that was probably the biggest focal point. But we did a lot of stuff we saw the Jolly Green Giant.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Wall Drug. We saw
the Wall Drug. Absolutely. Remember the bumper stickers?
Yes.
The Wall Drug bumper stickers you used to see? Yeah.
Yep.
Or that. Saw Devil's Tower that way and Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah. Mount Rushmore was a big one. And
we used to go to the Black Hills. I remember that in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah. That's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Like, that was really cool. The Badlands.
Yeah. Drove through there.
One thing I loved, the Sinclair oil dinosaurs. I loved seeing them on the way. That was super cool.
I grew up with Sinclair dinosaur and the Sinclair stations where they come out and pump your gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a weird thing today, but they still do it in some areas.
Isn't it? Well, I think Oregon just had it changed, but wasn't Oregon like you could only get, it was not self-serve, it was full service?
Full serve, right. Hey. They want to check your oil and.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't understand the problem. That's fine. I'll do that. That's easy for me.
They bring the dipstick to the window of the car and to show you, here's where you're at and you're on.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
If they show that to me, I'd be like, I don't know what that means, but all right. This little thing here. This little thing here says I got 5,000 more miles before I got to do it. So I'm going.
When the light comes on, I know that's wrong. Right. Because I still got 3,000 miles left.
But that's I thoroughly enjoy a good road trip wherever, and I think probably next year the plan is we're going to road trip out to California, take some time off.
That's all you. I've done that boogie. I don't really want to do that boogie anymore.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't Route 66. Like I just watch cars and I go, oh, there you go.
Oh, there it is. There's all the stuff.
There it is. That's all you need to see. It's in Cars. They based it on that.
A very good. No. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm going to turn it totally different direction now. The movie Cars. Do you know what movie that was based off
of? Cars.
So if you watch the movie Doc Hollywood, Michael J. Fox, fantastic movie.
I've not seen that movie. I know the movie, but I have not actually ever seen it.
So good. It is, I won't say a shot for shot, but damn near a remake of that movie entirely. It is a big shot in their profession, going from A to B, which is, going from their major city where they just were the best at the best, and they're going to a new job in LA. And along the way, they get into an accident and screw up a whole bunch of stuff. And a crotchety old man says, well, you got to figure out how to do it because you got to figure out how to fix it. We're not going to take money. We don't accept credit cards and all this stuff. And they have to stay there for a long period of time. And they, they're like, oh, I hate this town. These people are stupid, whatever. And eventually they fall in love and stay there. Again,
so you're telling me the fine folks at Disney's Pixar Entertainment decided to make a movie about cars, lovable cars, and a lovable tow truck, and a massively successful race car who is forced to stay in this little town. And they went out and said, you know what? We need a script for this. And there's this movie called Doc Holliday.
That Doc Hollywood that nobody has seen.
Or Doc Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
See, shows you how much I know. I just referenced Tombstone again. See what happened?
We're still in the Wild West.
Pew pew. I don't know why Yosemite Sam just came to mind. Pew, pew, pew. I'm gonna get you, rabbit. And you're telling me they decided let's go rip off the script from Doc Hollywood.
Yeah, because
that Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna show him.
So I challenge you and all of our listeners.
I'm gonna have to go. All 7 of you.
Yes, all 7 of you.
Please press that like and subscribe button
to hear more fascinating content like this.
This is really gripping right now.
We give you all the dirty inside details of the movies, music, places that you really like to know about.
Yes, that's right.
Seriously though, rent Doc Hollywood, buy it, rent it, whatever.
Oh, I'm not buying it. I'm going to tell you that right now. Buy it was a real stretch right there.
I bought it on an online platform. It was like $5. You don't have $5. If you like cars, you'll like this movie.
I'm not going to waste $5 on a movie that I've already seen.
You haven't seen it.
Well, I watch Cars, so yes, apparently I have.
I hate it when you make sense and prove a point and make me wrong. It really irks me, like so hard.
Well,
but I do challenge people: watch that movie, watch Cars, and tell me it's not basically the same thing.
Oh, I can't argue because I haven't seen it, but
it's also just a very good movie.
All right, I'll check it out. Hey, it's worth a shot. I'm not buying it.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'll never own that.
You might love it. You don't know.
No, I'll never own that.
Such certainty. But yeah, road trips. Sorry, I took that second and third turn.
No, that's good. That's good.
Point. But yeah,
I've done plenty of road trips.
It's for me. Well, have you done train trips? Do you do train at all?
Oh, I did a train trip once, and I will never do a train trip again in my life.
Everybody does a train trip once and learns.
So thought it would be really fun.
Yes.
This is when I lived in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I wanted to do the nostalgia baseball trip. Okay. So I love going, even if they're teams I don't like, right? And I'm not a Yankees fan, but I always wanted to see Yankee Stadium. And I wanted to see it before they built the new stadium. I wanted to see the old one. I love stadiums. I do stadium tours when I go to see teams play. I think the stadium is as cool as sometimes the actual sporting event and the team and all that. Absolutely. I think it's great to see. Like I've toured Fenway Park and Anfield in Liverpool and Royal Stadium, before it was called Kauffman Stadium down in Kansas City. Like just different stadiums. Like I love to take the tours. I just love all of that. And so I want to see Yankee Stadium. I want to see the old stadium, the original stadium, right? And so decided that it would be a good idea to do the whole nostalgia, like 30s, 40s thing and take the train. Now, it's supposed to be 11 hours.
Okay.
From Erie, Pennsylvania to New York City. I believe it's like 11 hours.
Okay.
At 13 hours.
It always happens.
I find out that passenger trains don't have the right of way. And anytime a freight train wants to come through, the passenger train has to get off the rails and wait. So I did not know this before I got on the train. And ended up, thank goodness, the baseball game was the next day. Because originally, like we were going to take the train and get into New York City and then go right to the game. Because timing-wise, we would get there in plenty of time. And then something made me go, in case there's a problem with travel, let's not do it that way. Let's take the train the day earlier, which we did. Thank God. Because by the time the game started, we still weren't there.
And the game actually started the next day?
No, by the time the game started that night, into the game that night, we would have missed the game completely. I would have missed my chance to go see the stadium.
That'd have been great time.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was a horrible experience. It was uncomfortable. It was literally the longest hell trip of my life. And all I kept thinking when we finally got there was, I have to take this back.
Yep.
And it was as brutal. They had to switch engines at one point. Like, I had the worst experience. I will never take a train again.
Where were you living at the time?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. So you were living in Erie and you were going, okay. Yes. So my single plane trip, or train trip rather, a buddy of mine in college, we were like, I don't know, 21, 22. We're like, let's go to Boston. I have some friends out there. We can visit like Harvard, MIT, Berklee College of Music, like, talk with them, go drink at Cheers.
So your entire trip to Boston was to go see, let's recap this, Harvard, MIT, and
Berklee College of Music.
The Berklee College of Music.
Yes.
So you're going to Boston.
Yes.
to see Harvard,
Yep.
MIT,
Yep.
and the Berkeley College. Those are three places that I think now Harvard. I've been to Harvard. I will tell you. I'll give you that one. But I know I'm pretty sure like a lot of people aren't really making plans to go to MIT and the Berkeley College of Music on their fantastic trip to Boston.
we were interesting people who kind of,
I'm sorry, the rest of us are not interesting. Because we're not going to go check out MIT.
Well, no, it was
what do you
more
go
of
to
a
see
thing
at MIT? I would like to see a cell run collider.
Well, here,
yeah, one of those here.
Thing. So
I don't even know what that is. I just made that up.
So at Harvard, we went because it's Harvard. It's a place you want to go. It's beautiful buildings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You
all that kind of stuff.
I get that.
MIT, our thought was kind of what you said. Maybe we'll see some cool science experience. Maybe there's a museum. I don't know. We did zero research, by the way. So yeah, we were
think like MIT's. There's some guy on this. Hey, you want to see this really cool science experiment we got going on?
It's not impossible.
Sir, come down here. It's like Carney's like working
out. They're carnival barker. Come one, come all.
For the ring toss, the quarter toss,
and
win a prize. Hey, win that gala. Yours a prize.
Yes. Guess how much hydrogen is in this can? Oh, let me feel that. Ooh. That's a tough one. But we did that, and then of course we did the collegey stuff. We went to Cheers.
You're like, we did that, like like that was actually a real thing. Like they actually did that. Yeah, we did that, and we went. So you went to MIT?
Yeah.
And that lasted 5 minutes before you were bored, or
we were there about 2 hours. But the other thing is, we both were big about architecture and just stuff like that. Like we loved looking at that kind of stuff. Like that was a big thing. That's why we loved walking around Chicago and looking at all the different buildings. So we went to Boston for some of that, but also again, we had friends who went to Boston University. We went to some parties. It was a fun time. But here's the whole point of this story, the trip there. So we decided, let's fly. Maybe not. Let's take a train because it's fun. We'll meet people. We're guitarists. We were in a band, so like we would bring our guitar. Maybe we would meet some people. You don't know.
All the rock band guys I know are like, man, I really can't wait to travel by train. Not tour bus. No. We're gonna take the Amtrak.
So we found our ticket. We found very cheap tickets. In just a regular
train tickets
car.
Are cheap. Whatever. You know why?
Well, no, they're not cheap anymore. Have you looked? I recently decided maybe I wanted to try a train again. Ridiculous.
Oh, see, I think you misunderstood me. I will never ride a train again. So no, I've never researched train prices in the last 40 years.
You pay double a plane ticket and it takes triple as long.
Oh,
what sense does that make?
That makes no sense at all.
None. So we found some nice tickets. We're at Union Station, Chicago. We're super excited. We're ready to go. We're ready to see all the stuff you can't see on the highway because you're taking train tracks. Like you'll see. What?
Did you have your engineer hat on? Did you have a little?
I asked them
Thomas
for one.
The Train Engine hat on.
They said no.
Did you get your little wheels? They pin on your little wheels. You know how they pin on wings. When you get on a plane, do they pin on little wheels for you?
Well, they didn't offer, and that's kind of offensive.
I'm making it up, Joe. That doesn't.
Are
exist.
you? Are you sure? Are you positive? Because if I didn't get something for what I should have, I'm going to be very upset about it.
No, I'm just making it up. Okay. I was just being facetious.
Don't be facetious.
I mean, I got my gulls, but whatever.
I hate so much.
Did they let you drive the train?
Trip. What?
Did they let you drive the train?
They did. No, but
did
there was a conductor here. No. Well, I did give my input to one of the conductors.
So he could do a better job.
Well, allow me. So we're traveling. I think our train left at like 5 or 6. We're probably in the middle of Indiana, maybe the early part of Ohio. It's right near the border.
So you just hit the middle of nowhere, is what you're saying.
100%.
Did you like to call the place where I live?
Yes. Yes. This is more rural than where you live, I believe. So I look out and I see nothing. But I look out. So I have the window seat on the right-hand side. I'm looking. I'm like, there's nothing out here. But I see like what looked like fireflies. And again, it's probably, I don't know, July, sometime in there. I see all of this just fluttering. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look to my left. and I see a glow, just like a pulsing glow.
Right.
And I get over because it's a pretty empty train. There's a couple of people on there, but there's nobody in the seats next to us. And I look and I see flames. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So there's a barn on fire, right? But it is right next to the tracks. Like, I mean, like you walk 15 feet and you're touching the barn. So there's a conductor. He literally takes his hat off. And I hear over his radio, hey guys, there's a fire right next to the tracks. Jerry up front's wondering, should we just try to plow through and see what happens? So I just spring up and yell at the conductor, sir, tell Jerry no, we're not doing that.
Oh, tell Jerry yes, we are.
So, well, in retrospect, we should have, because we sat there for almost 4.5 hours while the local fire brigade decides to put this out so slowly. I swear to God, they were taking buckets.
Did you at any point think that the fire was set and Jesse James was coming on board and it was a train robbery?
No, but I don't know how I didn't think of that at the time.
Yeah, that's a Western novel setting right there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How did I not think of that?
I don't know, because you're not me.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not thinking about the Westerns all the time.
I instantly would have gone to that. See, this is where I grew up, man.
Oh my God. But so we were there for 4.5 hours. So it was already going to be a 22-hour train ride from Chicago to Boston.
That's a long train ride.
And
you didn't get a sleeper car, did you?
No, because I didn't know that was an option or a thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So I slept just like this. Yep. But I made one mistake. I've told you earlier.
Oh no, you made many mistakes before this.
I made one mistake while sleeping.
You got on the train. You decided that was a way of travel in the United States today.
My friend introduced me to Tom Waits at that point.
Oh yes, this is your love of Waits.
And I fell asleep with my headphones in, listening to Tom Waits, and let me tell you,
did you have some of the weirdest dreams ever?
Oh, they were so weird. It was so weird, but I think that's what made me fall in love with the guy. And it's just I remember the song I woke up to. It was Cemetery Polka, and it is as creepy as it sounds, and it was very off-putting, but I enjoyed it. So I'm a lifelong Tom Waits fan. If he's listening, love you, Tom. Send us autograph merch.
Sure, I'm sure he's one of those 7 people that's subscribed by smashing that like button and that subscribe button.
He smashed that like button and smashed the subscribe button too. But yeah, that it was a trip from hell.
Yeah,
without question, because it turned that 22-hour train ride into almost 27 and a half. So it was literally over a day.
Yeah, I can't do that.
We were a day late, and we almost missed seeing MIT and Berkeley, but luckily we were able to squeeze it in there.
You were almost late for your science fair exhibit.
See, the funny thing is, people think sometimes I make up stories, and then they hear me tell them, and they're like, why would he make that up?
Oh, yeah, you're not making that up.
I wouldn't make that up. Like, what's the point of making that up? The Bill Clinton story. Some people didn't believe it, but a lot of people are like, why would he make that up? That's the weirdest thing in the world. Ben Stein, why would he make that up? I don't understand. I wouldn't. It's just how my life goes. I don't know.
It's the Dino and Joe Show.